Hey everybody, thanks for joining me. This is going to be a setup video for setting up your Inner Balance app by HeartMath. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to the button at the upper left hand corner that's in the shape of a cog. When I tap that, it takes me to the menus in the back, and I've got 8 menus on the left hand side. We're going to really work with the first 3. So the first one is called Sessions, and if you'll tap that, it will take you into the setup menu for your individual session. And you'll notice that the first thing is music. You can add music to yours. I've got my toggle on, and from there you can select from your library of music an artist or a song that you like. So if I tap select, it will take me into my library. I'm using Apple Music, and I select a song from there. Next, you're going to see sound effects. You'll notice that I have that turned off. Both of the toggles here are turned off. I find that the sound effects are very distracting. I don't want to hear the coherence change, but you may want to use those. The next one is the challenge level. My recommendation is that everybody begin their challenge level at 2 stars. And if you've been doing this a while, you can figure out where your challenge level currently works for you. I'm currently using 4 stars in my challenge level, and it's taken me a couple years to get there. The next is the breath pacer. I've got mine set at 12. This is something you're going to want to experiment with as you go along. The next is session timer. I don't use that. I find it distracting, but it might be something that you want to use, and you can turn it on with the toggles there on the right. And then your inspiration. This is a photo that you can utilize when you are doing your work. I use the breath wheel primarily, but if you were to scroll over, it will show you an image that you might want to use as inspiration. HeartMath does have an image that is stock, which I'll show you here shortly. Next, we're going to go into the session display options. I like to use the mandala. This is the breath wheel, and you'll notice that I've got mine toggled on. Next is the chaser, which is a dot that moves across the screen in the same pacer mode as the mandala. I don't use that, but some people enjoy it. Then there is the My Inspiration and the Advanced View charts, and I'll show you those shortly once we move back into the main screen. The visibility for the Coach, Mini HRV, and Mini Breath Pacer are all available to you, and you can decide if you want to use those yourself. Next, we have Theme, which allows you to choose the color of the background. I've got mine set to Cobalt, but you'll notice that you have up to 5 to choose from. And finally, you can choose your device setting. I'm using whatever my device is set to. I'm using an Apple device, but you can set yours to be permanent, light, or dark, depending on what you prefer. Next is mood selection, visibility. I don't like to select a mood before my session, but I do after. So I've got the appropriate toggles set up. And then I like to do a journal sometimes afterwards, which I'll show you here shortly. I would go through all of these menus just so you're familiar with them, but these are the 3 for basic setup of your device. We're going to go back to the main screen by hitting done in the upper left-hand corner. So if I were to, this is the main screen with the breath wheel, and at the bottom of the screen, you'll notice that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 menus. The first is the breath wheel, the inspirational, and also the advanced menus. And so you can use those during your session. Next, we've got review. These are all of my sessions over the years. And when I tap on them, you'll notice that I can look at the historical data. This is today's session. And I find it helpful to be able to go back and take a look. These are the journals, and you'll notice that the mood is selected. You don't have to leave a journal, but if you want to, you can. Sometimes I find it to be helpful. Next, you will find all of the guides. These are extremely helpful. There's great information in here, as well as audio and video sessions. I highly recommend checking these out. And finally, we have the Heart Cloud, which connects you to everybody else within the HeartMath Inner Balance universe. And there are millions of people using this device. Some people find this helpful, some people don't. It's up to you. But definitely check this out. Thank you so much for joining me, and if you're interested in a one-on-one session or further coaching, I can be reached at contact@co3consulting.net. That email address, once again, is contact@co3consulting.net. Thanks so much for joining me, and good luck with your sessions.